Hey guys, it's Brooke from Fashion Freedom Fighters, and on the blog today I'm talking about this habit that a lot of people have, which I think is helping them and is usually hurting them more than it's helping them, of shoving the shoulders down. So people who have chronic tension, pain pattern stuff in the upper trapezius and in the neck will oftentimes pull their shoulders down away from their ears as a way of stretching that tissue. And what they usually find, or what I see in my clients a lot, is that that actually makes things worse. Not for everyone, but for a lot of people who have this habit. And it's because you're kind of taking something that's already too taut, i.e. your shoulders are a perfectly fine distance from your ears, and you're yanking on that. So it's literally like kind of tugging on something that's already overly taut, trying to make it more taut, which does not help with stretching. So the first thing I talk about as a remedy to this is from the Yoga Tune-Up lexicon, and it is extreme trout shrug, and you're doing the opposite of pulling the shoulders down. And my colleague Lily Chandra, who's also a Yoga Tune-Up teacher, has a great way of describing this as like when you have a drawer that's stuck and you're like yanking on the drawer, you're trying to get it unstuck, but it's not going anywhere. And you actually have to push the drawer back in to get it back on its track, and then it glides back out. So this is the push the drawer back in movement. So you do what it sounds like. You extremely shrug your traps, your upper trapezius, shoulders up to your ears, and then you're going to get even more extreme about the shrug. So on your right ear, you pretend you have a cell phone that you're squeezing ear to shoulder, and you keep that, and then left ear, you squeeze it to the left shoulder. I look like a creepy Frankenstein. So you do this, and you hold it for a bit, and you can see that I'm even kind of letting my head rest on this pedestal that I've created of my shoulders. If that feels yucky on your neck, don't do it. But if it feels okay, you can even kind of squeeze your shoulders back like you're pressing in on the soft tissue where the cranium meets the neck. And then you're going to let that go. And I let it go. I let my arms come back to hanging. I didn't then pull down at the end, which is the troublesome thing that we're talking about. And you should feel a nice wash of blood through there. It's like a nice yummy massage for that tissue, actually. The second troublesome thing that we talked about is a lot of people think that like down is the direction that they need to go in, and they're too high shoulders. First of all, are your shoulders too high? Because shoulders don't need to, be living down here. They're about this distance. But second of all, sometimes it's coming from an internal rotation of the shoulder. So if you look at my left shoulder here, if I internally rotate my left arm, this shoulder is now higher than the other shoulder. If I externally rotate, this shoulder is now lower than the other side. I'm not yanking the shoulder down, I'm just externally rotating. So internal rotation makes it higher. External rotation, I'm talking about of the humerus bone, the upper arm bone. External rotation of the humerus makes it lower. So I'm not saying that we all need to like walk around in external rotation as like creepy robot people, but it's probably a more useful direction to stretch in, to externally rotate the arms, than just shoving the shoulders away from the ears. So you can play with external rotation, where you're really thinking about not your lower arm, but the upper arm spinning out as much as it can. So that's my current rant about movement cueing. If you're somebody who deals with a lot of pain and tension in this area, you might want to chuck shoving your shoulders down and play with these other potentials of movement in there and see if that helps at all. Thank you.